Lucky us. Today we are going to replace a broken table hydraulic shock. So we've got to get the cover off to get access. So we got to take out the screws that are holding the cover on. Sometimes you got to check to see if there's a 13 millimeter down here at the bottom. And back here. Oops. Slide through. Right there, there's sometimes a 13 millimeter there. Now we're going to lift the cover off. I didn't pull it all the way off, but I have access now. It would be nice to take this plate off, but we need to get back here. So in order to get this out, we need to take this shaft out. In order to do that, you've got two stop collars. There's one here, you can see the set screw, and one here. We're going to loosen the set screws. Then we got to take out the cotter pin, but it's going to be the one on the other side, so that way we can slide this shaft out. So loosen the the set screws that hold the stop collars. Remove the cotter pin on this side, slide that, and then this whole unit should come out, because that's the only thing holding it on is the bottom. I'm going to use these 4 tools. I'm going to use the vice grips right here. I'm going to lock those onto this shaft so I can use them to turn the shaft. I'm going to use the needle nose pliers and the flathead screwdriver to get the cotter pin legs straight while I use the pliers to move the shaft. Then I will just use hex number 3 to loosen the set screws. I'm going to go ahead and pop these set screws loose. One right here. Now you can see this collar is loose. I'm going to do it to the other side. See that set screw in there now. Alright, that's loose. So now both of these collars are loose and this whole assembly will slide. Yay! Now we just got to get the cotter pin out of this side, and it's kind of a pain. I'm just showing you where that cotter pin is. It's right up here, right above my finger. Really hard to see up in there. Lock the pliers on here so I can hold this steady while I start bending these fingers, or the legs of the cotter pin straight. You see how I've got that locked on there? And I'm able to turn that whole shaft. Now I've got a screwdriver jammed underneath this. I'm going to turn the flash on maybe. No, I can't use flash right now. So I'm going to use this screwdriver and turn this shaft. So now one of the legs is straight. I got to take the pliers off, turn it, and get it to the other side. Now I'm going to do the other way. Issue getting this thing to fit in here. Alright, I've kind of got those, I don't know if you can see the legs, but they're kind of straight. I'm going to pinch them shut with the pliers, but I just wanted to come back over here and show you that because of the space involved, locking the pliers this way as opposed to this way was a better option. So that way I had the space to turn this all the way around like this. Alright, so when I was doing this, the legs broke off. One of the legs broke off the cotter pin, so now I'm just using a pick. I'm going to hook it out and pull it out the rest of the way. I don't know if you can really see what's going on down there. Alright, I got it out. I'm going to move that up. And see if I can find a way to hold the phone here. Yeah, alright. Because I need two hands. I'm going to reach up under here and catch the stop collars and everything as I pull this shaft out. Oh, I dropped one, but I caught it. Getting close to the end of this, I can move that out of the way. And you can see how I just slid this shaft out here. I can leave this as is for now and go get the new assembly. Alright, so we're now back in the shop. I'm going to clean some of this out of the way. Just to show you, this is the old shock assembly. This technically should be out, but it's broke. So we do got to retrieve the top of this out of the stroke limiter plate. So that way we can make, put the old or the new one in. But I just wanted to show you that this is an old style shock, and this spring is designed to go on top of here. And if you're putting an old style shock back in, go ahead and put this spring on. But the new ones are designed with the spring on the inside, so if you see it, you don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? The new ones, they'll look a little bit different. I will show you a picture. This is what a new stroke limiter shock looks like. You can see I'll push down and it pops back up because the spring is in fact built into the inside. So when we go to replace this, we're just not going to put that spring on. It'll just cause table height detection errors because it's designed to go so far down, and the spring will take up so much space even at full compression like that. That's, I don't know, about 40 millimeters. So then you'd have to adjust the whole bracket assembly that we actually took this unit out of, which we could have removed with two 13 millimeters, that whole assembly. Or I think it's three 13 millimeter bolts. But then you got to do that, you got to take the adjustment out and blah 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 blah. So instead of doing all that, we just take the shock out. But anyway, we're gonna put the new shock in. Alright, so now we're back outside, and we need to get this piece out of the stroke limiter plate here. I should probably clean this up while I'm here. So this is a 13 millimeter nut, and you got to hold the rubber piece underneath with your hand. Ta-da! Now, back to this piece back here. I'm going to put this new shock in. Just going to slide this onto the shaft. I'm going to put my stop collar back on. That's it for now. I got to put that cotter pin back in through that hole over there. But for now, I got to take this nut off the top of this. Get this up through the stroke limiter. Just like that. There's a little bushing there that it's got to be true. Put your washer on. Now on the new one, this is a 17 millimeter nut now. So I got to hold the shaft underneath right here, or this rubber piece. I could hold that. Probably better to hold the rubber piece so you don't damage the shaft while I tighten the 17 millimeter on top. that's good to go. The last thing, well, one of the last things we need to do is put this cotter pin back in down here. And then we just gotta adjust the stop collars to move this and realign this T-stop. You see how I can move that left to right? We want to center that and hold it with the stop collars. So that way there should be no contact between the sides of the stroke limiter and the table shaft. But once we get that straight and tighten those stop collars up, that's pretty much it. Alright, so we've got the cotter pin in down here. The stop collars are locked. You can see here there's space between the stroke limiter plate and the table tube. 17 millimeter is tight. Now we just got to put the cover back on, put everything back together, and we're good to go. And that's how to change a stroke limiter shock.